Twitter shares are plunging now. The latest in terms of social media's Rex, the company's revenue beat expectations, but it also reported a decline in monthly users. Twitter continues to delete fake accounts. Joining us right now is the founder of Endpoint Technologies Associates, Roger Kay. Roger, good to see you. We've been looking through these numbers, trying to understand the broader impact and what's going on in terms of growth in the sector. Your reaction?
Well, sure. First of all, good morning, Maria. What I would say is that at this point, people should be aware that social networks have a life cycle. If you recall AOL and MySpace, at one point AOL was so big it was able to almost eat Time Warner. And then it disappeared almost. I mean, actually, it still exists, but it's not relevant. And I think that people have taken for granted that Facebook and Twitter are somehow permanent objects, and they're not at all. Because essentially the life cycle goes like this. People find a new way to communicate with each other. It's all delightful. They meet new people. It's great fun. And then, you know, these nasty people kind of come in and start taking pot shots at people, and it gets unpleasant and unfun. And then a bunch of people bail out and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, what you're seeing here is the beginning of that, is the sort of maybe we've hit peak Facebook already, for example.
Yeah, but I mean, people are questioning the overall growth story. And I know that we're still talking about strong growth when you look at a Facebook, but there's also backlash about how they operate their businesses, all these companies. A report that Twitter so-called shadow banned some top Republicans.
Right. President
Trump took a swipe at the company over Twitter, but the company says it's fighting back. It's offering an explanation for what it think happened in the situation. We do not shadow ban, is what Twitter is saying. You are always able to see the tweets from accounts you follow, although you may have to do more work to find them, like go directly to their profile. And we certainly don't shadow ban based on political viewpoints on ideology. Twitter goes on to say, for the most part, I'm just reading their statement, for the most part, we believe the issue had more to do with how other people are interacting with these representatives' accounts than the accounts themselves. Roger, what's your take on this? Do you believe this?
Well, yeah. Well, the answer is I don't think the story totally adds up yet. Essentially, rather than something like shadow banning, was the idea that someone can tweet, but you can't really see what they're tweeting. There's this question of the search bar. So there's letter by letter search. If you start typing in somebody's name, common name should pop out there, and then you select one. And if, for example, you don't get that, then some people are saying that that's a form of shadow banning. I think it's pretty subtle and pretty technical. I don't totally buy Twitter's explanation for it, but I'm not really sure that the Republicans who've said, well, we've had that happen to us, but it didn't happen to Democrats. I don't know that their research was all that rigorous in terms of, you know, who got banned or whose name didn't come up in the search bar when you type 2 or 3 letters of their first name. Yeah. So I think, you know, we need to see some more research on this before we start saying, oh, yeah, they did something wrong, or these other guys are, you know, anyway. So that's my take on that.
Well, you know, I don't know, because the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, responded in an almost accusatory tone, complaining that there was still a lot more work to do to earn people's trust. And then he said this. He used vague language in his tweet. He referred to these actions that resulted in shadow banning as conversational health work. Conversational health work?
That makes no actual sense. So I don't know how to interpret that. Yeah, I mean, one thing is that, you know, Twitter is benefiting from being kind of the paper of record for Donald Trump. And I think, in fact, that has given the whole company kind of a lift. But in other words, if that hadn't happened, then I think Twitter would be in worse shape than it is now, because I think the network itself has been struggling to redefine itself and remain meaningful for people. And so Twitter's problem is slightly different from Facebook's problem, but I think that the administration's use of it as an outlet has actually helped it.
Well, one common theme here, Dagan, is the fact that all of these companies may be facing a heavier hand from government.
Because they asked for it. Because we have sat on this program literally for a couple of years and warned them about, with Facebook's recklessness in rolling out features like the live video, and people were killing people and committing suicide on it. And they're technology's approach and Silicon Valley's approach has always been just throw it out there and we'll fix it later. Even Larry Ellison did that with Oracle. But again, when you're now reaching so many people around the globe, you can't be careless like that. And the old saw out of these companies in terms of the censorship of conservative speeches is the algorithm. Well, you know what? Somebody wrote that algorithm and somebody tested it. So we're done with that excuse. And they've got a very short window of time to fix this nonsense before people do go somewhere else. I would point to LinkedIn, quite frankly. There's a lot of opportunity there for Microsoft to do something with that gets rid of all the hate and the nonsense and the censorship.
And that's what we really want to see, right, James? You want to see competition. You want to see competition coming in to actually take market share so that maybe we can see some honesty here.
Yeah, I think as far as the regulation, Google seems to be perhaps benefiting from it, certainly not hurt by it in the European privacy context. So I kind of question whether regulation will be the answer here. I think it goes back to individuals. And to Dagan's point, Twitter saying we're screening for bad behavior and trolling, and you can give a technical explanation, but it comes down to some pretty subjective human judgments. And I wonder if that is the bigger danger, Roger, is that people with a certain point of view decide that Twitter or Facebook is not for them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are abandoning the platform. My own experience with Facebook, for example, is that despite how frothy and nasty it was during the election period, it's actually less interesting now. The fact that all those nasty people have been screened out means that I just see a bunch of, dog pictures and things like that, and people posting about their vacations, and it's actually, I don't really need that. So they tamed it down a bit. They're trying to tame it down, but frankly, it's less interesting than it was.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a trio of the tech giants announced earnings this week, and now we see the impact of all of this. Facebook taking a massive hit, Roger, the stock plunging 19% on the earnings report, and this new worry about growth, wiping out $120 billion in the company's market value, the biggest loss in stock market history. No company in the history of the stock market has ever lost this much in market value in a day. Was it warranted, Roger?
I think we've seen peak Facebook, and we're now moving into a new era.
Peak Facebook.
I guess the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Peak Facebook.
Okay.
We were there, and we're now going somewhere else.
Well, they talked about investing in security, Morgan Ortagus. I mean, look, security is something they are going to have to invest in. So how do you just, take that out of the equation?
Yeah, you're right, Maria. You're not going to be able to. And in fact, there's a report this morning that Sheryl Sandberg, CEO of Facebook, and Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter, of course, are going to go before the Senate Intelligence Committee to testify about the Russia probe that's currently going on in the Senate. So when you look at that, you look at the Europeans and other jurisdictions potentially saying that they may ban all targeted advertising. It's still a proposal at this point for Facebook. I think the regulatory scrutiny is not going away anytime soon. Yeah.
Also, I guess part of your analysis, Roger, that things have peaked.
Yes. I mean, I'm not sure I feel all that bad about it. It's sort of like, okay, bye.
Roger, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
All right.
Roger
Bye.
Kay.